Good day, everyone. I'm Lim Pei Sing from the Faculty of Psychology and Education, Universiti Malaysia, Sabah. I'm going to present my research paper entitled Current Trends in Tpec Research in English Language Education, a Systematic Review of Literature from 2017 to 2021. First and foremost, let us look at the introduction. In this 21st century, the evolution of technology has changed the traditional ways of teaching and learning into online-based teaching and learning, or e-learning. Due to the sudden emergence of the COVID-19 pandemic around the world in earlier 2020, the implementation of e-learning has become the alternative way to make sure the teaching and learning still can go on. It is found that implementing e-learning will be hard for teachers who have poor technological skills. The major problems faced by teachers in implementing e-learning involving issues such as technological background skills and professional development. Some studies found out that teachers' Tpec level are low and moderate. Mohalik and Saho 2020 revealed that student teachers do not have Tpec. Barber 2021 believes that teachers should acquire knowledge of technology and expertise to use it along with the knowledge of the subject. Madum 2015 believes that TPACK should be developed and mastered by teachers to achieve effective implementation of e-learning. TPACK is one of the conceptual models developed by researchers to facilitate teachers' professional development. TPACK is used to measure the types of knowledge teachers have and need to enable them to integrate technology with the complex, intricate, and situate nature of teacher knowledge. It is stated that this model describes how teachers can use pedagogical and content knowledge to improve instructional practices and how technology can support the implementation of the pedagogical and content knowledge. A teacher with high level of TPACK is considered as the one who masters knowledge to integrate technology in teaching and learning. It is believed that it is important to investigate the current trends of TPACK studies. By providing insights into the current trend of TPACK studies, particularly in English language education, researchers will be able to understand the recent TPACK research progress in the subject area. The gaps in the existing TPACK research within the English language education field can be identified. Systematic literature reviews of current research on TPACK in the English language education context are limited. This systematic literature review aims to investigate current trends in TPACK research in English language education literature published between 2017 to 2021. This systematic literature review will be guided by the following questions. What are the characteristics and emerging trends of research published from 2017 to 2021 in TPACK in English language education? Next, methodology of the research. This research is a systematic literature review, and there are several steps in conducting this systematic literature review. Firstly, we identify the related keywords, such as technological pedagogical content knowledge, TPACK, English language, ESL, EFL, and English teachers with some modification using and or. Secondly, we search the keywords on Universiti Malaysia Sabah, UMS subscribed databases to obtain relevant articles. In this research, we use Scopus and ProQuest. Lastly, we use the preferred reporting items for systematic reviews and meta-analysis PRISMA 2020 statement as the guideline for reporting this systematic literature review. Now, let us look at the study inclusion flowchart based on PRISMA's framework. It was started with the identification process. We first apply all our limits, such as year of publication, language, and type of literature, to retrieve relevant articles in the search process. There are several inclusion criteria in identifying articles to be included in the research synthesis, which are, first, the year of publication of the literature should be from 2017 to 2021. Secondly, The language of the literature should be in English. And thirdly, the type of literature should be a journal article or scholarly article. There was a total of 129 articles found by searching the keywords from Scopus and ProQuest. The list of the articles was then exported to Microsoft Excel for further inclusion and exclusion process. To avoid reviewing duplicate articles, we removed 3 articles that appear more than once in the results. There were 126 articles left for screening after the duplicate records were removed. The screening process focused on the title and abstract to identify articles that are relevant to the research questions. The articles that were not relevant to our research question were excluded. After the screening process, there were only 20 articles left for the trial. There was only 1 article that we were unable to find the full text, and thus 19 articles were available for reviewing the full text to assess the eligibility for the inclusion in the systematic review. After reviewing all articles in the full text screening stage for eligibility, the total number of articles excluded were 5 articles due to irrelevant subject area. The final analysis yielded a total of 14 articles which were included in this systematic literature review. Presenting to you the results and discussion of this research, we first identify the characteristics of those studies that include, firstly, countries involved in the review study, secondly, samples involved in the review study, and thirdly, methods employed by the review studies. Countries involved in the reviewed studies. Based on the pie chart, Indonesia covered the highest percentage, 29%, followed by Turkey, 22%. Iran and Malaysia share the same percentage, which is 14%, while Czech Republic and Taiwan share the same percentage of 7%. There is only one study, 7%, that involved participants from different countries. Sample involved in the review studies. Based on the bar chart, half of the review study, which is 7 out of 15 or 50%, involved in-service English language teachers as the participant, while 29% involved pre-service English language teachers. Only one study, 7%, involved both pre-service and in-service English language teachers. Besides, there are 2 studies, 14%, that involve English language learner as the participants. Methods employed by the review studies. As shown in the chart, most of the studies employed the quantitative methods. There are 4 studies, or 29, employed for each qualitative method and mixed method. Next, we also analyzed the research by grouping the research that has similar topic. We considered the theme for each research by looking at the purpose and focus of the study. We found out 5 key emerging themes. These emerging themes are: first, measurement of Tpec level; second, relationship between Tpec and other variables; third, strategy to develop Tpec; fourth, implementation of Tpec; and fifth, development of Tpec instrument. The first theme, measurement of Tpec level. There are 9 out of 14 reviewed articles, 64%, that measured Tpec level in various ways. Based on the analysis, there are 2 main ways to measure participant Tpec level, which are through perception and implementation. The measurement of Tpec level through perception means that the participants make a perception of the Tpec level. They answer a questionnaire to identify the self-perceived Tpec. As for the measurement of Tpec through implementation, Tpec level is measured based on the implementation of classroom practices that reflect the Tpec competency. The next theme is relationship between Tpec and other variables. Based on the review studies, there are 4 studies, 29%, that investigated the relationship between Tpec and other variables. There are 2 reviewed studies identify the relationship between Tpec and demographic characteristics, which are seniority and teaching experience. And another reviewed study investigated the relationship between Tpec and other subcomponents of Tpec. In addition, There was a review study that found out the relationship between Tpec and a technology-related variable, which is attitudes towards technology. In addition, strategy to develop Tpec. There are 4 out of 14, 29% reviewed studies suggested some strategies to develop Tpec. One of the reviewed studies pointed out the importance of teacher education programs in developing pre-service English language teachers Tpec. The steps that can be taken include teaching pre-service teacher explicitly how to combine technology, content, and pedagogy, providing opportunity to becoming the designer of technologically mediated materials, and experiencing technology-assisted instruction through the use of these materials at practicum school. Another reviewed study stated 2 ICT practices in developing TPACK, which are formal practices, functional practices. Implementation of TPACK. The implementation of TPACK means how teachers apply TPACK in their teaching. There is one reviewed study that described the implementation of TPACK framework in English language teaching through several technology tools such as blog, mediated online discussion, text-to-speech software, video, social network, and presentation tools. Apart from that, another reviewed study discovered the implementation of digital narrative storytelling by using TPACK as the framework. Lastly, development of TPACK instrument. There are 3 stages approach to the development of a questionnaire for assessing TPACK, including first, generation of the item pool, second, content validation, and third, construct validation. 2 reviewed study developed and validated self-assessment instrument to measure English language teachers TPACK. There is also another reviewed study that developed and validated an instrument for assessing high school student perception of the knowledge possessed by English teacher, which is made up of TPACK construct. In conclusion, over these 5 years, current trends in TPACK research in English language education show variability in the characteristics and emerging themes. TPACK studies in English language education were carried out worldwide. Half of the reviewed studies used pre-service English language teachers as the participant, while others used in-service or both of them. Some studies use English language learners as the participants. There are a variety of methods, including quantitative, qualitative, and mixed method employed by the researcher of reviewed studies. We identify 5 key emerging themes of the reviewed studies, including measurement of TPACK level, the relationship between TPACK and other variables, strategies to develop TPACK, implementation of TPACK, and development of TPACK instrument. However, this systematic literature review only involved 14 articles from 2 databases, which are Scopus and ProQuest. Future researchers should involve more databases and resources such as IRCHST, Web of Science, Google Scholar, and more to get a broader overview of the studies. This review is limited to the investigation of general TPACK research in English language education. Future research focusing on specific themes such as the relationship between TPACK and demographic variables and other technology-based variables can be conducted. This paper implies researchers in the English language education field, especially in Malaysia. Further studies on TPACK need to be conducted due to the limited current research in Malaysia. That's all for the presentation. Thank you.